coalition policy launch in Brisbane went very well today. There's no doubt about that. Even the critics of the coalition had to admit the performance was pretty slick. I think the coalition, to be frank, normally don't do these things very well. The Labor Party gets a lot more razzmatazz and makes these campaign launches much more celebratory events. But today's was very good, very slick. Tony Abbott's simple, straightforward language cut through. We started off the launch in a predictable fashion. We saw Campbell Newman, the Queensland Premier, speaking. We saw the Nationals leader Warren Truss speaking. We saw Julie Bishop, who I'll interview live from Brisbane in just a moment, speaking. But the real surprise today was the speaking role for people that we perhaps weren't expecting to hear from, and that was two of Tony Abbott's daughters. Bridget and Frances took the stage and introduced their father. So have a look at some of that.
He thought that netball was just a different form of rugby. We all played for our local club, Forest Netball. And Dad could always be heard from the sidelines, if not hundreds of metres away, calling, "Run, Forest, run." He always thought it was funny.
Well, there you go. That's Bridget and Frances Abbott introducing their father at the campaign launch. Pretty obvious what's going on there, trying to soften the image of Tony Abbott, who's been seen as a political hard man, trying to broaden out his family appeal. I suppose if I was a courageous bloke, you might suggest that there was an attempt to get some sex appeal into the coalition campaign there as well, but you'd have to be a braver man than me to suggest that in the current climate. But it went very well, and it went down very well with the audience, and we've seen it play very prominently in the TV newses around the country. But Tony Abbott's speech, of course, was also very cut through. He delivers a simple language in his speeches. But to me, it also betrayed the core paradox in the coalition's campaign strategy, in their policy mix. Now, Tony Abbott has lots of very good things to say about small government and his desire to get government out of our lives, to reduce the amount of money the government is spending as a percentage of the economy. It's a big-time small government argument, which is good to see. Some of us have been arguing that we need to see that sort of policy direction for a long time. But the trouble is, the policies he's promising are very much big government promises. He's promising to match the government's massive new education spending. He's promising to match the government's new disability care spending. He's also promising his own very generous paid parental leave scheme, which includes an additional tax on big business. He's even promising a conservation program of green cores, where there'll be thousands of young people on the government payroll fixing up the environment. So this is the paradox for the opposition, for the coalition. They're promising smaller government, but at the start what they're offering us is bigger government. And I think that, apart from anything else, makes it much easier for the Labor Party to run their scare campaign about where the opposition is going to cut. And I think we're going to see that ramp up even more starting from tonight as we head for the last 2 weeks of the campaign. I'll take up that issue, that central paradox, with the Deputy Liberal leader, Julie Bishop, live from Brisbane after this break.